Good afternoon, good people. Right, my name is Hendrik Makaneta, and I'm going to start to teach grade 7 maths. And of course, let me take this opportunity to welcome all of you. And thank you very much indeed for taking the time and the trouble to be part of this lesson this afternoon. The Twitter account at Hendrik Makaneta3, you are welcome to drop a message there if you wish to do so. And of course, today we are going to focus on calculation of the perimeter and the squares. But before we can do that, I want us to define a perimeter. I'm sure it's not for the first time that you hear the word perimeter, which was probably introduced to you in previous grades, as well as an area of a square. So I'm going to focus on the perimeter and the area. That is the primary focus for today. And of course, how do we define a perimeter? Well, a perimeter, in my view, is the distance around the edge of a shape. So any shape, when you walk around the shape along the line, once you complete your distance from where you started, then that can be regarded as a perimeter. You can take a soccer ground, for example. During athletics, there are learners who participate, who run 400 meters or 800 meters and so on. So the starting point, where you start and run around the ground until you finish where you started, that is what we call the perimeter. It means that you have calculated now the perimeter, the distance around the edge of a shape. So you can see the definition is there. You can also define it as follows. You can say that the perimeter is the sum of the length of a particular shape. So if you add all of those lengths, then you come up with a perimeter, or the distance along the sides of the shape. Then you are talking about the perimeter, the distance around the edge, if you may call it, of the shape. And of course, the area can be defined as well. You can define the area as the space which is covered by the polygon. By the polygon, we mean any shape, be it a triangle, be it a square, a rectangle, or any other, a shape which has got 5 sides, 6, or any other number of sides. We call that a polygon. Now, without any waste of time, I'm just going to go and zoom directly into our first activity. As you can see, we have a small square known as A. We've got the other square there, which is B, and the last square there as C. And you can see that, if you look at the smallest, the small square there, you can see that, we have got only one line. If you take your paper grid, you can see that if we are measuring that in terms of centimeters, we have covered that to be 1 centimeter. That is one side. So the square consists of 1 centimeter each. So meaning that the distance around the shape of that square will be 4 centimeters. But of course, if you have to calculate the area of the square, the smallest square there, your area will be 1 centimeter multiplied by 1 centimeter, and this actually gives you 1 square centimeter. And centimeter. And of course, the same goes for B. You can see that if A consists of only a centimeter length, you can see that B has got different values there, and of course C as well. But I'm gonna pose some questions to you regarding the 3 squares that we have in our list. And the first question is that, what can you say about the lengths of the sides in each polygon? We've already spoken about the square, that is A. We said that the length is 1 centimeter. So if you were to calculate the perimeter of that square, the smaller square, the perimeter will be 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter plus 1 centimeter. So it will be the distance around the edge, which will give you 4 centimeters. But of course, if you were to calculate the area of this square, then you will have 1 times 1, which is 1. So the area of the square A will be 1 square centimeters. I hope that we agree. Now, I want you to tell me, what can you say about the length of the sides in each polygon, meaning B and C? Can you limit yourself to B and C? Just talk about the length. Can I get Elena to talk about the length of B and the length of C? Anyone at all? Let me see the hands. Yes, Bella, your hand is up. Let's hear you, Bella.
So I think the length of B is the length, the 1 square is the length of A, plus the other length. All 4 lengths, on one side the length is 2 centimeters, which makes the total 8. The total perimeter 8 centimeters.
Exactly. So thank you very much indeed, Bella. Square B, the centimeters there, the length will be 2 centimeters, because as you can see, it is 2 times the original square. And therefore the length will be, each length will be 2 centimeters. And of course, if you add them together, it will give you 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 8 centimeters. And what can you say about the area of the same square?
I'm trying to figure that out, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Bella. Is there anyone who wants to make an addition on the area of B? Bella has already said that the square, the meters there, or the centimeters. Yes, Jonathan and Gundu, your hand is up. Jonathan, go ahead. Jonathan, you can go ahead. Right. We seem to have lost Jonathan. Now, if you look at B, of course, the length will be 2 centimeters. And of course, if you were to add them together, as Bella has said, you will find that your perimeter will be 8 centimeters. And of course, if you were to calculate your area, we're still coming to that, but of course that will be length times length, and then of course it will give you the area. But before we get there, let's go to C. Who can tell me what is the length of C in centimeters? We said that the length of square A is 1 centimeter. The length of square B is 2 centimeters. Yes, Kiandra Dikoni.
Each length is 3 centimeters long.
Yes, you are talking now about square C.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So the square C there, each length will be 3 centimeters. All right. Now, can we move to the second question, which is B? Kiandra, your hand is up again. You can carry on. Right, we are moving to B. Name the polygons that are shown on the grid. Name the polygons shown on the grid. What are the names of these polygons? Meaning that what are the names of these shapes? What are the names of these shapes? Right, I see there are 2 hands up. Anyone can shoot, is fine. What are the names? I see the galaxy there, galaxy tablet. Please go ahead.
Sir, the names of the shapes are either quadrilaterals or they are squares.
Thank you very much. And who is speaking now?
Ella.
Okay, Bella again. Thank you very much indeed, Bella. Yes, Bella is correct. The names of the polygons are, you can call them quadrilaterals, meaning that it is a 4-sided figure. The name quad. Quadrilateral, if you look at quad, meaning 4, then those are 4-sided figures. But to be specific, to be more specific, you can call them the squares. So these are the squares. So the names of the polygons shown on the grid are squares. Now, how many square units make up the area of each polygon there, or each square? I think I've already given you the answer when I started, meaning that now calculate the area of each and every square. How would you calculate the area of each and every square there, the 3 squares? I want you to tell me now, what is the area of square A, and what is the area of B, and what is the area of C? Jonathan Gundua, again, your hand is up.
Sir, I think if we count every block inside, we get the.
Okay, come again. Jonathan? Right, we seem to have lost Jonathan again. Any other hand? How would you calculate the area of each polygon on the grid? A, B, and C. What is the area there? If you're still working out, it's fine, work it out. But I see there's another hand here, but I don't see the name. I only see some squares there, some rectangles. Please go ahead. What makes up the area of polygons A, B, and C in terms of square units? Meaning that calculate the area, right? There are 3 hands now. 3 participants have raised their hands. Any one of you can come in, is fine. Just tell us the shape A, what is the area? And of course, B and C. Or you can choose any one of those. Anyone at all? I see that there are 4 participants. Who I think you are one of them.
Sir, it's length times breadth.
Okay, length times breadth.
Yes.
Okay, and what is the size? What is the value now? You say length times breadth. What is the value of the area now that you have given me the formula?
I can't hear you.
What is the value of the area of square number A?
Square number A, I think the value is 1 block because only 1 block is shaded in.
Yes, so it will be 1 multiplied by 1, and that gives you 1. And remember, let me correct something. Length times breadth is actually the area of a rectangle and not a square. The area of a square will be length times length. Or you can say side times side, which is side squared. And can you go to B? What is the area of B?
I think the area of B will be length times breadth, and
be 4, yes. And how did you calculate 4?
Length times breadth.
Okay, length times length. Remember, it's a square. Yes, you know, there's no length and breadth, so because they are equal, you can just say length times length. So you say that will be 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay,
Yes.
and the last one, C,
C
what will
will
be
be
the area there?
C will be 6 because the length is 6 and the breadth is 6.
Okay, how do you come to 6 of the length?
Oh, it's actually 9.
Is it 9? You are at 9 now. Are you now calculating the perimeter? Oh, yes, you're talking about the area. Yes, I fully agree with you. The area will be 9 square units. And how did you arrive at 9?
How did I arrive? The length is 3 and also the breadth is 3. So if we say 9 times 9, that gives us, 3 times 3, that gives us 9.
Exactly. Thank you very much indeed. So you are correct when you say the units, the length gives you 3 and another length gives you 3. So if you multiply 3 by 3, you get 9. So definitely the area for C will be 9 square units. If it's a centimeter there, it will be 9 square centimeters, as you have said in the beginning, that we are using a centimeter as our measurement for the very first square. Now let's go to the last question. Is there another way of calculating the area of the shape without counting the number of squares in each? Right now, all that you did was to calculate the number of squares. In the first square, there's only 1 unit there. In the second square, there's 2. And of course, the third one, there's 3. Yes, Lorna Noto, can you tell us, is there a different way of calculating the area?
You can, instead of counting the blocks inside each shape, you can multiply the
Okay,
length.
what can you multiply now? You're right, I agree with you. What can you multiply?
The length and
Multiply
the
the
length and the width.
exactly. So instead of counting the blocks, you can simply multiply the length, which is 3 times 3 will give you 9, for example, in the last one. So initially, you can simply calculate the blocks. If you look at the first A there, there's only 1 block. So 1 times 1 is 1. So because you've got 1 block there, and B, you've got 4 blocks. 2 times 2 is 4, and the other one you've got 9. That is C. You've got 9 blocks. 3 times 3 is 9. Let's now carry on to the next. And of course, you can see these are our answers to the first. The first question there wanted to, what can you say about the length? All sides are equal. That is what we can say about the length. And of course, you can see that A there means that all sides are equal. If you go back and look at B, the names of polygons shown on the Greek grid, we answered that. We said the names are the squares. And of course, in C, we have also calculated the area of the square A, the square B, and the square C. And of course, D. In D, you can see that the area of any square, which is calculated, you can calculate it by multiplying the length times length. So if you say length times length, you get L for length, then that becomes L squared, because L times L is L squared, or S squared, meaning S can stand for a side. L stands for length and S for side. So the length and the side is basically the same thing. Similarly, the perimeter, we wanted to answer the last question there, that is there any other way? Yes, there's an alternative way you can multiply, as Lorna has just said. Now, the perimeter as well, you can add all the sides, as I've indicated in the beginning. The square, you've got 4 sides, then 4 times Yes. Protocol, please raise your question. Protocol, your hand is up. Protocol, can we carry on? Right, now let's look at the following example. If a square has a length of 8 centimeters, if a square has got a length of 8 centimeters, calculate the perimeter and the square. Calculate the perimeter and the square. If a square has a length of 8 centimeters, calculate now the perimeter. Now we have a square and the length of that square is 8 centimeters. I want you to calculate now the perimeter of the square as well as the area of the square. The square has a length of 8 centimeters. Calculate the area, the perimeter and the area of the square. Is there anyone who wants to try? I see your hand again. Let's go to Lorna again. Lorna.
Is centimeters.
Okay, Lorna, you say perimeter is
2 centimeters.
2. How did you arrive at 2?
Wait, no. I think that the square would the length and the width would be 2.
Okay. But
So
you have
each
given the length, Lorna.
side of the square would be 2 centimeters.
So you say each length will be 2 centimeters.
Yes.
So meaning that you have divided 8 by 4.
Yes.
But can I tell you something? Listen to the question. The question says, if a square has a length of 8 centimeters. Now, it means we have got a square with a length of 8 centimeters. What does that tell you? It tells you that if one line or one side is 8 centimeters, it means the other side will also be 8 centimeters, and the other side 8 centimeters. So each side should be 8 centimeters. Now I want you to use that to calculate the perimeter.
How do you calculate the perimeter? Is it length times width or what?
Is it 8 times 4 then?
Exactly. Exactly. So it will be 8 times 4, because remember, a square has got how many sides? 4 sides. So if one side is 8, then to get all 4 sides, you will multiply 8 by 4 sides. Or if you don't want to multiply by 4, you can add, 4 times. You can say 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8.
Which is 24.
How much do you get?
24.
Just check correctly your calculation.
8 times what?
4. Oh, 32.
Exactly. So it will be 32. Thank you very much indeed, Lorna. Thank you very much indeed. This is 32, because if one side is 8, then 4 sides will be, it will be 8 multiplied by 4, and 8 times 4 gives us 32. Alternatively, if you don't want to multiply 8 by 4, you can add 8 4 times. In other words, you can say 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. And of course, 8 plus 8 is 16. 16 plus 8 is 24. 24 plus 8 is 32. That is what we call a repeated addition. So multiplication as well can be repeated addition. So thank you very much indeed, Lorna. Now we go into this area now, the area of the square. We have already talked about the formula to calculate the area of the square. Once you have your formula right, it should be easier for you to calculate the area of the square. So the first thing, the area of the square, if you know the formula, then you can substitute, you know the length is 8 centimeters. Let's go to another hand now. I see there's someone called Antisocial. I don't know if your name, that's your name, Antisocial. Is it Jonathan Gundu? Yes, Jonathan, go ahead.
So I would say the area of the square is
The area of the square is?
I would say it's 32.
Length times breadth.
I think it is.
The length is 8 and all they all 8. 8 times 8 is 64.
Come again?
So I thought, but I don't know.
I think it is. Let me see.
Jonathan, are you still there?
I didn't listen to the question.
It's just there.
The area of the square.
If a square has a length of 8 centimeters, so exactly like the previous example,
Yeah.
it's 8, 8, 8, 8. And the way you guys were calculating length times breadth, like you even said the other way to calculate, instead of counting the blocks is by multiplying.
So you're right, it has to be 64.
Which is the area would be 64.
Jonathan, you said 64.
Ah, there we go.
Is that Jonathan? All right, so you found 64. How did you find 64?
Is length times width.
Length times length. All right. So the length in this case would be 8 centimeters. And of course, if you multiply the length by 12, this becomes 8 multiplied by 8, which is 64. So thank you very much indeed, Jonathan. That will be 84. And of course, if you go and check your answer, you can see we have the formula for the perimeter, which is P is equal to 4S. That means 4 sides. And of course, 4 multiplied by 8 gives you 32. So you'll have 32 centimeters. And as Jonathan has just said now, the area or the formula for the area of a square, A is equal to S squared. And of course, since our side is 8 centimeters, this means you'll have 8 squared, which is 8 times 8, it gives you 64. Then that will be our answer there. Now let's go to the second example. Now, in this example, if the perimeter of a square is 36 centimeters, determine the length of each square. Determine the length of the square, but also calculate the area of the square. Gabriel, you may go ahead. Gabriel.
Each side would be 9 centimeters.
Okay.
The
length
area
would be 9 centimeters. How did you get 9 centimeters?
I divided the 36 by the number that fitted in. So I just went up from 1 all the way up to 9, seeing which one.
So you divided 36 by 4.
Yes, I divided by 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9, and 9 fitted in bed.
I fully agree with you. Yes, I agree with you. The length will be 9 centimeters because you divide 36 by 4. Remember, the square has got 4 sides. If someone asks why do you divide by 4, it's because the square has got 4 sides. So if you have the whole perimeter, then you divide by the 4 sides. So each side should be 9 centimeters. I fully agree with you. Do you want to try the area as well?
Yeah, the area is 36 centimeters.
Okay. How did you find the area now?
Because I times one side by 4, would give me 36. So 9 times 4.
Okay, okay, well, what is, but now, listen, Gabriel, you just said to me that the side, the length of your square will be 9 centimeters. Is
Yeah.
that what you said?
Yes.
And I said that you are correct. Now I want you to use that length to find the area. You must use 9. Use 9 as your length to calculate the area. You know the formula to calculate the area?
The area is 36 centimeters.
Yeah, but how did you find it? How do you know it's 36?
Because I times wait, sorry, never mind. It's 81.
It's 81. Now I'm glad you can see that. It's 81. How did you arrive at 81?
I times 9 by 1. No, 9 by 9.
9 by 9, exactly. Now what you've done now is take 9, which is your length, which you found in the first question there, and you multiply that by 9. Remember, the area of the square is length times length. So you just multiply the length by itself. So if
Yeah.
the length is 9, then it will be 9 times 9, which is 81. Can you tell me what the units will be?
The units, it'll be 9 on all sides.
81? Come again?
What do you mean by the units?
I'm talking about the centimeters. Once you
Oh, it'll
multiply
be
9 centimeters by 9 centimeters, what do you get? You said 81.
81
81
centimeters.
Uh,
81 centimeters.
81 centimeters. It should be
Or
81.
Or 8
81.
meters and 1 centimeter.
It will be 81 square centimeters.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, if you multiply a centimeter by a centimeter, then you get square centimeter. So your units there will be square centimeters. Are we
Yes.
together? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. Now we are proceeding to the third example. And of course, you've just shown us how to find 9. Basically, the perimeter is 4 sides. So if you equate 4 sides there with 36 centimeters, you can divide both sides by 4. So meaning that you divide 36 by 4 to get 9. So each side will be 9 centimeters. So the side there will be 9 centimeters. And of course, if you have to calculate now the area will be S squared there. And of course, 9 times 9 is 81 square centimeters. And of course, we're moving to our third example. We have got a square bathroom which has a length of 2,5 meters. Now we have a square bathroom. If you're in the bathroom there, the length of the bathroom is 2,5 meters. And remember, it is a square bathroom. A square bathroom, calculate the area of the bathroom, calculate the perimeter. Now we've given you the length, and you need to calculate the area as well as the perimeter of the bathroom. Calculate the area of the bathroom, equally calculate the perimeter of the bathroom. Tumza, your hand was up. I see Tumza's hand was up. Can you go ahead, Tumza? Right. Let's carry on now. Of course, this becomes, Tumza, I can't see you. I can't see Tumza now. Let's see. Can we go back to Gabriel?
Yes.
What is the area of the bathroom? How would you calculate the area?
Oh, the area of the bathroom.
Yes.
So if one length is 2.5 meters, then just wait.
Yes, one length is 2.5 meters.
So then you times 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters.
Exactly. And what do you get?
And then you would get, let me just think quickly. You'd get, you'd get what's called, I think 15 or 20.
Just do it correctly. Just multiply correctly. Remember, if you want, you can remove the comma and just multiply 25 by 25. What do you get?
Oh yeah, okay.
And thereafter, put the
You get
comma.
125.
Is that what you get?
Yeah.
So did you just do it now?
Yes, so it'd be 10,5 meters.
Is that the area of the bathroom?
I think so.
Okay, I think you're guessing now.
No, I'm not, because
Okay, using the same analogy, can you calculate the perimeter now? Can you tell me what the perimeter is? Remember, what is important, Gabriel, is to know your formula. Once you know the formula, then you'll never go wrong. In the same note, calculate the perimeter. We'll come to, let's shelve the first one, we'll come to it. I'm not saying you're correct. I'm just saying let's shelve it for now, the area. Let's talk about the perimeter. How would you calculate the perimeter?
you would take the number and times it by 4.
Exactly. You take, which number do you times by 4?
2.5 meters.
Yes, and what do you get?
10 meters.
Exactly. If you multiply 2.5 by 4, you get 10 meters. So I give you, I mark you right for the perimeter. Yes, you are correct. That will be 10 centimeters. But of course, if you look at the area will be 2.5 square meters. You'll have to multiply that by 2. And what do you get? You get 6.25. So 6.25 will be your area, 6.25 square meters. Then you are correct when you say the last one will be 10 centimeters. That is the perimeter. Now we are proceeding to another activity here. The area of the square is 25 meters, 25 square meters. That is the area. I want you now to find the length of the square as well as the perimeter of the square. Now you are given the whole area, which is 25 square meters. I want us to calculate now the length and the perimeter. Let's calculate the length and the perimeter. Now we are given the area of the square, which is 25 square meters. I appreciate if I can see some few hands. Remember that participation is compulsory. Participation is compulsory. Yes.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You said this the area of the square is 25 meters squared, right?
Yes.
So
That's
which
correct.
means 25 times 5, 25 times 25.
Well, remember, the 25 has already been multiplied. For us to have the area, it means we have multiplied a number by itself to get to 25. We have already multiplied. Once you have the area, it means you have multiplied the length by itself. Now, what is that length? What is that number which you have multiplied by itself to get 25 square meters? What would be that number? What is that number?
The answer would be
To get to 25,
625.
625. So you actually multiply 25 by 25 to get 625. But you can't do that. You can't multiply 25 by 25 because already 25 square meters is a square. It's the area. This means we have already multiplied the length by itself to get to 25. Are you with me?
Also, so you want the perimeter.
No, I want the length.
You want the length, which
Yes.
means which means side times side.
Exactly, side by side. What is the side? Give me the side, the breadth of the side.
It should be 12 and a half.
12 and a half. And how did you arrive there?
Because I divided 25
By 2.
by 2.
Why do you divide by 2? How many sides does a square have?
4.
So, but why do you divide by 2?
4 divided 25. So the answer should be 5.
Yes,
Each
the
side
answer
is
is
5 centimeters.
yes, exactly. Now, if you look at the answer will be 5 because 5 times 5 gives you 25 square meters. So the side will be 5. So if you've got 4 sides there, if you multiply the area, 5 times 5 gives you 25. All right. Yes. So if you divide 25 by 5, you get 5. So therefore, the side will be 5. And of course, the perimeter will be 4 multiplied by the side there. And as you can see, I've worked it out for you. That
So
will
you're
be
breaking up, I can't hear
4
you.
times 5, which is 20. So the right, I'm just saying, can you hear me now? I hope
Yes, sir.
that you can hear me. Yes, the perimeter will be 4 sides. Remember, we said a perimeter is 4 sides. So if
Yes, sir.
one side is 5, it means 4 sides will be 20. So that will be 4 times 5, which is 20 meters. Therefore, your perimeter will be, yes, your perimeter will be 20 meters.
Meters.
All right. Yes. I want to take this opportunity to say this is we limited ourselves today to the perimeter and the area of a square. That was our lesson for today. That was the objective of our lesson. And of course, here is a homework which I want you to go and look at. The homework is there on the board. You've got the square there, which has got the length, the given length. You need to calculate the perimeter and the area of the square. And again, a square bedroom has got a length of 4.5 meters. I want you to calculate the area of the bedroom, but also to calculate the perimeter of the bedroom. So basically, there are 4 questions which you can do as part of your homework, just to test your skill and to test your understanding of today's lesson. And if you have got any challenge, please feel free to contact me on my WhatsApp number, which I'll give you at the end of the lesson. And of course, I hope that you have taken a picture of the work on the board here, which you can use in your spare time. Do this homework. And of course, you can check relevant links, which can also help you to calculate the area and the perimeter. And in our next lesson, that is tomorrow, we will confine ourselves to the area and the perimeter of a rectangle. We have looked at the area and the perimeter of a square today, and tomorrow we will look at the area and perimeter of a rectangle. Remember that the rectangle length and breadth. There's one side which is longer, and you've got, that is the length, and the shorter one is the breadth. So that is what we will look at tomorrow. For more information, like I said, if you have any questions, statistical questions, just follow me on WhatsApp 082-623-2148. Alternatively, you can Email me, makaneta.hm@gmail.com. Follow us as well on social media, Twitter account at Africa Teen Geeks, equally Facebook, Africa Teen Geeks, but also the DBE website for further information. And of course, this coming into being as a result of the support of our sponsors, MS Zora, until we meet again tomorrow. Thank you very much indeed, and thank you for taking the time and the trouble to be part of this lesson. Thank you very much indeed.